So, I remember them coming back and telling my husband I had ruptured aneurysms. I was hemorrhaging. I had two. Some tests. What else do I remember about that day? The whole time I remember not really being scared. And that's the odd thing about the whole thing. I don't know if the pain kept me from being scared. My husband was with me the whole time. I would say that was the biggest part of it. But for some reason, I wasn't scared. I never thought about that I wouldn't make it. I don't know why, but I didn't. And because the percentage is high that I wouldn't have made it, especially since I took the aspirin. So that was one cautionary tale: never take aspirin. If I'm talking too low on this video, I'm sorry. You may have to turn up the volume. So, I remember them coming back and telling my husband I had ruptured aneurysms. I was hemorrhaging. I had two of them. I don't remember if I was told there. No, I think I had a picture one time, and my daughter may have it, I don't know, where the doctor drew a diagram. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but they were going to have to go in me. They had doctors waiting at another hospital. I really didn't know all this because once they figured out what was wrong with me, I remember nothing else. I don't. So some of the stuff I'm telling you now, I was told later. So they rushed me to UT, University of Tennessee Hospital. Remember, I'm going by my memory. So if my husband, my mama, which I know my mama will watch, own me, she can tell you different. But I know nothing about the ride to the University of Tennessee Hospital in Knoxville. I didn't know at the time that the doctor that was going to do surgery on me was from Duke University, and that he was one of very few doctors around that could go through the groin area instead of opening you up with the skull. He would go up in there. He was a radiologist. I'm trying to think of his name. And that's the issues with, as much as I've seen them, and I'm thinking I'm due this year to have another scan now, but as you'll hear, it was a little different then. Oh, what was his name, doctor? He was young, which I found, later. But I found out the radiologist from the university was there that did something that was rare in our area. But they also had a Dr. Walsh at UT. Can't believe I remember his name. He was actually a neurosurgeon that would have cracked my skull open and went in there and probably clamped it. But instead, they found out when, I don't want to say Dr. Duke, but Dr. Fremduke, the Dr. Fremduke, and I'll try to look it up before I post so I can tell you. I can picture his face now because I've seen him quite a bit, but I can even still kind of picture Dr. Walsh after all these years. I did say 2012, I hope, when I started. But they went up in there and they put coils. I guess they're platinum coils to stop the flow of blood from beating into my aneurysms. And I had a large one and a small one on the same artery in the ICA, I believe. And I've got all that, a lot of that stuff somewhere in the room that I haven't decluttered yet. So they did that, and I was told, I guess I was in a medically induced coma, I think, is what they told me. I don't think it was because of the hemorrhage itself. Don't remember most of my hospital stay. I always say I kind of remember them pulling something out of my throat. I couldn't tell you anything I would have ate. There was a couple of things, friends that visited me after talking, I guess, to Omi, or maybe talking to another friend. I think in the third week I was there, that I kind of remember. I told Omi I don't remember them getting me up to walk the halls and stuff. They actually sent me home after 2 weeks. I had to quit having what they call vasospasms. Yeah, vasospasms. It's like mini strokes, I guess. And I remember more the third week, and I'll tell you more about the third week and why I can kind of remember a little bit more on that. But they couldn't send me home till I quit doing that. The coils seemed to be working. Again, like I said, I did some crazy stuff in the hospital. I did. I don't know if I've got enough energy to keep talking. And like I said, this is probably going to be at least a 2-parter. Maybe I ought to quit talking and talk again later. I got to go home after 2 weeks. But I didn't get to stay home. I thought it was because of my aneurysms. Because I didn't remember. I just remember being in severe pain. And my husband took me back and they admitted me for a severe urinary tract, I guess, or bladder. Probably triggered from the brain hemorrhage and being laid up for 2 weeks. So he said that after he had already took me back and I was already admitted, he got a phone call saying I needed to come back because I had it, and he told him that I already had been readmitted. So I spent another week in the hospital. So that's when I kind of remember my postmaster at the time coming. And I believe my friend Sharon. I remember Michelle telling me she was pregnant. And I told her to bring me a pregnancy test, and she brought me 6. I remember that because she had tried for so long. So I remember that. So see, I was already having things to keep going. I was so excited for it. We had Eli, and he had just started walking. And during that last week, I had to see him because I hadn't seen him. The first 2 weeks, I'll be honest, it was like I was no care in the world the first 2 weeks. And they sent me home. And I really don't remember details much about before they sent me home. Like I said, I remember a few more second time around. The last week, the 3rd week. Can't remember a whole lot about that. I think they were doing vasospasm checks then, I believe, because I found out one of the guys was on one of the mail routes in my county. And when I subbed, I delivered mail to him. And one of the nurses lived on the route that I got hired in to start on. I remember that. I remember his name. I can't remember hers, but I remember the road she lived on. Is that not odd? I remember that. I remember Kenny bringing Eli to the hospital. A reason to keep going. I wanted to keep going. So, I even told Mom I couldn't remember really taking a shower. And she said something that triggered my memory, and I remember, yeah, I kind of remember I did. But that was in the 3rd week. I remember thinking I didn't have a phone. Couldn't remember having a TV. Or a computer. Remember, we're talking 2012. Even back then, electronics weren't as much as they were now. And you'll find out why that was hilarious. But they released me to go home. They released me to go live my life. Yeah, they scheduled me for a follow-up, but they told me to go live my life. I can't tell you how quick I went back to work, but I know it was the wrong move now. They told me to get back to my life, to go live my life. And I don't remember if I told my doctor at my checkup I had already went back to work, because I thought if I was walking, talking, moving, that's how I was raised. At the time, we had already put Eli in what we call play school. It was a kiddie academy. And Kenny would take him there on the days I worked, because I worked just part-time. Most of the time full-time, but I mean, because I was part-time, I worked different offices. I knew 7 routes at the time. And fortunately, anything that I knew before my hemorrhage, I remembered well. I went back to work. I can't tell you the exact time, but it was... I keep wanting to say Fred went back to the doctor. Omi could probably tell you. I don't know. Thought things were going well. Very tired. Very tired. Omi can tell you she talked me through many a day to get my routes finished, because I had an earpiece in my ear and I could drive and deliver. And I did that for over a year. About a year and a half. But I started having issues. Arthritis, I thought was carpal tunnel in my hand at work. I went into work one Saturday and Kenny wound up having to take me to the emergency room, or emergency walk-in right after that. After working half a day, because I could not do that. And I kept working, because that's what you do. And Sharon, if she watches my videos, I love her. If she remembers something a little different, she can help me. I'm telling you, from this brain that has had blood on it. And from what I was told, that blood is like acid on the brain. And it depends, I guess, where your hemorrhage is, what kind of side effects you have. So being in my lower ICAU, or ICA, back here, I don't know if some of my issues with, like, my brain working faster than my mouth can, that's why it's hard for me. And I'm surprised I'm doing it tonight. To sit and hold conversations, even though you see a lot of my main issues, I forget what I'm saying right in mid-sentence, because my brain has moved on. And my mouth can't stay caught up. And I'm sure some of you realize that. You go through that. So, my energy level was severely drained. Of course, later I found out it was because I have neurofatigue. I was told that my brain works so much harder than it used to do what it used to do, because I do have damage to the cells. I don't look at myself and see that, but that's what I was told. So, that explained why I never could get energy. And it explains why for a few months I was working full-time plus hours. To the point, I went to work one day and I couldn't hardly walk. Remember having a skirt on because I loved wearing my skirts even back then, even at work. Wintertime skirts and long johns. And I remember going through the back door, and Ron, a friend of mine, if he ever watches, he'll know. I can remember this. Surprising, some of the things I remember. Couldn't hardly get out of the car. And I couldn't hardly walk into the building. And I remember Ron asked me why I was there. Why didn't I stay home? And I told them because they were counting on me being there. That was my job. That was my job. So, I believe that the doctor, and I probably didn't say it before, let me get my coffee.